Round 3 recap. Let's get right into it. UFC London just ended last night. Sorry it took a little bit to get to you guys. Just kind of wanted to sleep on this one for a bit. Chanel Dyer versus Ravina Oliveira. Chanel Dyer gets the knockout in the second round, and I don't think she just knocked Ravina Oliveira out. I think she may have knocked her completely out of the UFC. Don't think we're going to see Oliveira again. Very, I hate not to be disrespectful, just a pitiful showing, if you ask me. Spamming the same combination over and over again, and Dyer just was patient, waited, and found that shot about a minute into the second round. Put her down with, honestly, from the clinch, after rocking her on the feet. And Oliveira was leaning against the cage, kind of reaching up toward the sky and saying something to the ref. I don't know if she was telling the ref to stop the fight or to not stop the fight, but terrible look. Welcome to the UFC, Chanel Dyer. Cannot wait to see your next fight. Shamrock versus Abdul El Sawadi. Look, Shamrock had his moments. We had Shamrock in this one. But ultimately, he just couldn't handle the speed, the in-and-out movement of El Sawadi, and quite frankly, just the power. It was just a little bit too much for Shamrock. So we'll see where he goes from here. It's going to be interesting. Louis Sutherland versus Brando Perisic. This was our underdog lock of the week. Came out looking good for the first minute and 48 seconds that this fight lasted, but I mean, he was just outmatched in size and power and just skill. The only chance that Louis had in this fight, in my opinion, which I was kind of hoping for, was for him to drag this fight into the second or the third round, because we know he's got the cardio to go all three. And that was the biggest question mark about Perisic going into this fight. So, third week in a row, underdog lock misses. So we're going to clean that up, and we're going to get it back next week, okay? Mantis Castrovicius versus Antonio Tricoli. Look, this one was interesting because I want to say Castrovicius, if he wasn't the biggest favorite on the card, he was one of the biggest favorites on the card. And the narrative going into this one was Tricoli was just here for a paycheck. You know, he's a poker player, he's a gambler, he doesn't train, this and that. Let me explain something to you. When a professional athlete is telling you, oh, he doesn't train, he didn't really train for this fight, he's just playing, the guy clearly still exercises. He's still a professional. All right, he's not coming out of retirement. When he's saying he's not training, he's not in a camp. He's not in a training partner's camp. He's not getting rounds in. But the guy is still training more than you and I promise you, okay? So he fought hard. Tricoli didn't just lay down in the first round like everyone thought he was going to. I mean, he was taking taking Castrovicius down in the third round. And quite frankly, Castrovicius was looking like he was out of gas after the first round. So he's got a lot to clean up, in my opinion. He gets the decision win there, but didn't look great. Didn't look amazing. Had moments where he looked good, but had moments where he looked just very uncomfortable. So, on to the next fight. Mario Pinto versus Felipe Franco. This was a good fight. It was a good technical battle. Pinto it was weird. He started off using his range in the first round, and then he just turned into a wrestler. It was like he wanted nothing to do with standing with Felipe Franco, and it's very interesting because Franco's the one who trains with Gelton Almeida and is usually the one pressuring for those takedowns himself. So, interesting game plan for Pinto. Very interesting game plan. He gets the decision win, but just a weird fight. A technical fight, but a weird fight in my opinion. Nathaniel Wood versus Lucien Kita. This is one that I feel if it was not in London, I don't think Nathaniel Wood would have gotten the win. Let me pull this up here because I was looking at this last night and I was just very confused. It looks like they've slightly adjusted it, but I don't think Nathaniel Wood threw 178 strikes. I didn't see that. Maybe I'm wrong and I don't know how to count. But if he threw 178 strikes and you're telling me Keita only threw 119 strikes, then I don't think that we were watching the same fight. I don't understand sometimes how these strike counts go. I mean, we talked about it with Strickland a few weeks ago. I don't see, Strickland a 40 significant strike in a round. I don't see it. I didn't see him throwing that much. I saw him throwing, I didn't see him throwing almost 200 strikes. So great win for Nathaniel Wood at home, and I want to say that keeps him undefeated in London. So I mean, awesome win against a hot prospect who, quite frankly, got put on the prelims as kind of a punishment, and it looks like he deserved that. So good win for Nathaniel Wood. Mason Jones versus Axel Silva. I cut a little short reaction video on this one. Man, this was fight of the night, and it was well deserved. Mason Jones, like the title of my video, is must-watch TV. Absolutely. I won't miss another one of these guys' fights. Axel Silva as well. I mean, I kind of flipped on this one. I was on Axel Silva at first just because I thought the striking was going to be a little bit too much for Mason Jones. And it looked like it. Mason Jones was dropped with a spinning back elbow, I want to say it was, or a spinning back fist in the first round. And it looked like it didn't look good. It didn't look like it was going to go good from there. But this guy, I mean, just came back like the Terminator. You could just see it in his face. Like he was not going to lose this fight. You know, after that little exchange where he got dropped and he got back up, once he got his wits about him, he was never going to lose a second of this fight. And he didn't. And he put his foot on the gas. And I mean, this was great fight. Axel Silva, hopefully that gash under his right eye that he got, I mean, I'm sure all of you have seen the pictures of it by now. It was a nasty one. And that came from a knee from Mason Jones. And it was funny because after he landed it, he starts kind of pointing right at the cut and making this slashing motion. And great fight. Fight of the night. Absolutely deserved it. So congratulations to Mason Jones on his return to the UFC. And, you know, he's got stuff rolling. So it's going to be fun to see what they do with him next. I heard some rumblings about him versus Drew Dober. I would absolutely love that. So now we are on to the main card. Curtis Campbell versus Danny Silva. We were on Curtis Campbell here. I thought he was just going to be able to grapple and, quite frankly, just lay and pray, like I've seen in a lot of his fights on the regional scene. He's the kind of fighter who likes to control. He prefers position over submission, and he does a good job doing it. So that's what I was anticipating in this fight. And Danny Silva had other plans, and he knocked him out clean in the second round. I mean, you can say it was early. Curtis Campbell protested a little bit. He wasn't being rude or ignorant about it or nothing. But no, man, Danny Silva. I mean, a great combination that he threw. I mean, this guy, another one who just wasn't going to be denied, had a very tough outing in his last couple fights. You know, talked about it at the end of his fight, just kind of how people, you know, after his last loss, just a lot of people walked out of his life and kind of gave up on him and or expected him to be this world beater in every fight, and that's not reality. You know, and I'm sure a lot of people can relate to that. Just people kind of giving up on you or walking out on you after having some adversity. And so it's good to see him get that win. And hopefully Dana mails him a check, you know, because obviously the guy, like he said in this post-fight, is hurting a little bit for money. So Roman Dolidze versus Christian Leroy Duncan. I told you guys, Duncan shouldn't have been this big of a favorite in my opinion. He didn't look like it. Dolidze he's past his prime. He's got injuries that have built up, and I genuinely feel if this was 2 or 3 years ago, I think Dolidze would have looked more like RoboCop when RoboCop fought Christian Leroy Duncan. I feel like he would have had that type of game plan and just that kind of pressure and just power. But his power's dipping, and I mean, he's flopping to his back like Ryan Hall, looking for leg locks now. And I don't know if he was trolling at the end of the fight when he was throwing his hands in the air and he was holding his hand up when they were announcing the winner as if he was going to win the fight, and I was just kind of confused. I mean, he clearly didn't win the fight, but he had great moments. He took Duncan down a couple times, controlled him, threatened with a couple submissions, backed him up with a couple flurries. Christian Leroy Duncan's just the kind of fighter to me that has every single tool in the toolbox. He just doesn't know when to pull the right tool out at the right time, it seems like. He's got great technique, he's got phenomenal high-level striking, but the guy, he doesn't put it together well. It's very odd. It's watching this guy fight is very just extremely frustrating sometimes, because I feel like he could have gotten Roman out of there numerous times in that fight, but he just chooses to throw 1 or 2 strikes at a time and just dance around and switch his hips and switch stances, and it's entertaining looking, but it's not effective. So I don't know. The closer he gets to the top 10, I don't know how he's gonna do. I'll just leave it at that. Congratulate. It was a good win, solid win, but shouldn't have been this big of a favorite. And I feel the fight proved that. So on to Iwo Baranowski versus Austin Lane. This was our third most confident pick. Just to go back and give you a little rundown. First most confident pick was Chanel Dyer. Second most confident pick was Montes Castrovicius, which was looking a little dicey toward the end there when he got his back taken. Our third is here with Iwo. So Iwo Baranowski versus Austin Lane. Listen, I had to contact my cousin because I have a cousin who's 6'5", and I asked him, when was the last time you weighed 200 pounds? And he told me when he was 15. Iwo gets the first round knockout, 28 seconds in. Give him a fight next week. on to the featured bout. Michael Venom Page versus Sam Patterson. Sam Patterson fought MVP the same way everyone else did, outside of Ian Gary. That was the kind of game plan that Sam Patterson needed to come into this fight with, was the same game plan that Ian Gary had. What he was doing in the third round, he should have been doing it in the first. I don't know if it's MVP's speed, just the aura and the charisma that he has when he's in the octagon. I don't know what it is that makes people just look confused and almost amateur-like. I mean, Kevin Holland had a similar look that Sam Patterson had tonight, and so did Jared Cannonier in a lot of parts of their fight. I'm just confused on how you all week you're saying I'm a mixed martial artist, I'm a mixed martial, and you didn't show that. You sat there and boxed with the guy, and let me pull up, and these are fights that I'm not a huge fan of. Sam Patterson, you landed 12 significant strikes, man. I'm not here to disrespect anybody. I'm just here to break down fights and call it how I'm seeing it. And you're not going to win any kind of fights in the UFC landing 12 significant strikes unless you're Jillian Robertson. Okay? So you got to throw volume or you got to implement your game plan. You were 0 for 2 on takedowns. If you were 0 for 7 or 8, okay, that's one thing. You're obviously trying every round. You didn't try until the third round. It wasn't a good game plan, man. I don't understand. I don't understand it. Like we spoke on the other side, it could be MVP's movement and just the way he carries himself in the cage. It makes people freeze. I don't know those highlight reels from going all the way back to 2010 of him knocking people. I mean, this is 5 decisions now that MVP's been in the octagon. So I really want to see where he goes from here, more so than Sam Patterson. You know, God bless him, but I want to see what they do with MVP because they need to just hurry up and set up this fight with him and Wonder Boy, or they need to just start giving him some high level to pull some good fights out of him because this is not what we were expecting for the MVP era here in the UFC. So on to the next fight, which is the co-main event, which I feel we called absolutely perfectly. We said Riley is susceptible when throwing in the pocket, right? And that's what we saw. He got clipped a bunch. He lost that first round, if you ask me. I want to say Aswell landed over 30 significant strikes. A lot of those were body shots against the cage. He had him in the clinch, and he was just digging body shots to the liver, throwing uppercuts. I mean, really good dirty boxing from Aswell. Really, really good dirty boxing. But, like we said in our breakdown, Riley builds into fights beautifully. So the longer this fight went, the stronger his punches got, the faster his punches got, the more confident he got. And you could see it. I don't recall seeing it on the regional scene. I didn't really watch a lot of walkouts and announcements, but he seemed very, I don't want to say nervous, but just really conservative when he was getting his name called and just to start that fight, just very, very conservative. And I don't know if that was to, co-main event, fighting at home in the UFC now, much bigger than, he was always the main event on the regional scene, but this was the biggest fight of his life so far. So I don't know if that was it, or if it was Ashwell throwing those punches. I mean, he had great volume through the first 7-8 minutes of this fight, and then, like we talked about, he started to fade a little bit. So Luke Riley is 13-0. Luke Riley is a really hot prospect right now. You know, him, Patty the Batty, and all them over there at Next Generation. So I wonder. I'm going to look at the rankings and see, but I wonder what they're going to do with him, because whatever it is going to be fun. I mean, he's an undefeated fighter, so you're going to have to tune in. You got to watch an undefeated fight. So let's get into the main event, where we had, beforehand, 2 undefeated fighters. Movsar Evloev versus Lerone Murphy. This is a fight where... Yeah, man. We're going to get to you in a second. Relax. This is a fight that I feel we called right. I don't think Evloev wrestled in those first 3 rounds because he didn't trust his gas tank to wrestle in those first 3 rounds. He went back to his corner very just almost resistant to his coaches and to his cornermen, and it was very, very weird to watch, very interesting to watch, I should say, to see their interactions, because it was almost, you know, I know, yeah, I will. I mean, he wins the fight, so obviously he knew something that we all didn't, but he did get that point deducted, I want to say sometime in the 3rd round, so it looked like Evloev was going to need a finish to get this win, and that's a lot of what the commentary was saying. And if you ask me, I feel Lerone Murphy won the first 3 rounds of this fight, and I feel Evloev clearly won the last 2. There is a toss-up round, which I feel you could say is the 3rd or 1st round, but I would say Lerone won the 1st round if you ask me. And the 3rd round was close because of the damage that Evloev did right at the end. I mean, he cut him open, and he could have stolen that round, sure. But then there's the point deduction. So now that leads us to a draw. So I feel at best Evloev could have had a draw, which is, you got over 20 media members here, and this is what they have to say about it. But I will say on the flip side, to play devil's advocate to myself, Lerone Murphy, you cannot be on the back foot in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th round and almost cowering like this against the cage. You just can't do it, man. I mean, it was the optics. Lerone Murphy overall won the fight, but Evloev won the bigger moments in the fight, and that's what won him this fight. I don't want to see Evloev in a title fight. He hasn't been active enough for me. It's no disrespect to him. This is a business, though. Lerone Murphy wailing and going on in between the 4th round about his hip, and my hip's gone, and this and that, and sitting on the stool at the end of the fight, and jumping on the microphone and just not even acting like it was a contest. Here, Evloev, give him the title fight. I'm out of here. I'm hurting. That's what I got from him. So you can't be mad. I can't be mad about Lerone Murphy losing, because he wasn't even mad. So, but just looking back at Evloev, he gets the win tonight. I did not realize that Evloev was scheduled against Aaron Pico. He was supposed to fight Aaron Pico last year in July. I did not know that. And Evloev this is his 4th fight in the past 3 years. So I don't think just with the way this fight ended, I don't think you put Evloev in a title fight after that performance. And I just don't. I don't. I feel you put this guy in the title fight. You know, he's been barking and going on, and I feel that is the matchup that the UFC is going in, just from hearing Dana talk, hearing the stuff that he's posting. I mean, this guy, he's not... Let me tell you something. Jean Silva's not a chess player, okay? And I don't think he has people around him who really are either. So these posts online about him flying to London, he's signing the contract, I think they're ready to have him sign that contract to fight Volk, especially with how that fight went down. So we're going to see. We are going to see here very soon. Very, very soon. I don't think Evloev took much damage, so he will be ready, if need be, for that title shot. I want to say International Fight Week has got to be what they're aiming for. So July, mid July, mid to late July. But I think it's going to be Jean Silva. All right. And I'm going to cut a video on that. So overall, I feel Lerone Murphy won the fight. I feel Evloev won the moments. And he won the championship rounds. And he's going to be the one available come July. So I feel that's why he got the nod. But I'm not a judge. And what I say in that department doesn't matter. So congratulations to Evloev getting a huge win off of a 14, 15-month layoff on the road in enemy territory. I mean, hats off to him. You can't take anything away from the guy. So, round 3 goes 8-5 on the night, 3-1 on most confident picks, our only miss being Lerone Murphy. And we missed on the main event with Lerone Murphy. And we missed our underdog lock with Louis Sutherland. So we got some stuff to clean up, round 3 team. We got some stuff to clean up, and we will. We will. Okay, all right, okay. We'll see you next time in round 3.